So by the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the meaning of statistics and other popular terms. You should also be able to describe the type of statistics, describe the source of data, types of data, variables, and understand the different level of measurement. And last but not least, you should be able to describe the various level of collecting data. So now I'm going to start with what is statistics. So statistics is a group of scientific method of conducting studies. So statistics ini sebenarnya is a collection of method. Apa yang you perlu buat when you want to conduct a study. So bila you kata you nak buat study, it's not that tiba-tiba you terus dapat result. Before you dapat result tu, there are a few more steps that you need to do. So what are the steps? What are the methods? The first one is you need to collect your data. Once you dah collect your data, you organize your data. Means that you susun data awak, yang mana data boleh pakai, yang mana data tak boleh pakai, you keluarkan. And then baru you summarize and analyze. Bila you dah buat semua tu, last kali kita draw valid conclusion and make decision based on analysis yang kita dah buat. So statistics is actually a collection of method of conducting studies. There are two types of statistics. The first one is descriptive statistics. Consists of methods for organizing, displaying, and describing data by using table, graph, charts, diagrams, and summary measures to exhibit the information obtained from the data. Maksud dekat sini, awak boleh anggap descriptive statistics ni macam describe data. You hanya describe, explain apa yang awak ada. Contoh, okay, you have 100 CGPA. Okay, you interview 100 students. You tanya mereka, what is your CGPA? Daripada 100 CGPA yang you dapat tu, okay, contoh CGPA ni adalah untuk student part 3, kelas A dan B contohnya. So daripada 100 CGPA yang you dapat ni, you tunjukkan dalam bentuk bar charts. Awak present 100 CGPA yang ada tu dalam bentuk bar charts. You describe your data by using charts, descriptive statistics. Ataupun you describe your data menggunakan summary measures. Summary measures tu apa? Mean, median, mode. Apa lagi? Okay, maybe kita boleh tengok maximum value, minimum value. Contoh, daripada 100 CGPA yang you dapat tadi, you calculate your mean. You dapat mean dia 3.33. Median dia 3. Okay. And mode dia 2.95 for example. Paling tinggi 4 flat. Paling rendah 1.5. So, you explain data awak. You kata 100 CGPA ni kalau dalam bentuk charts macam ni. And daripada 100 CGPA tu you calculate dapat mean 3.33. Daripada 100 CGPA ni you cari median dapat 3. You describe data yang awak ada. Descriptive statistics. Whereas dalam type yang kedua ni, nama dia inferential statistics. Consists of method that use sample result to help make decision or prediction about the population. So if you read carefully, dia kata inferential statistics ni adalah method di mana awak menggunakan sample result untuk buat satu conclusion, untuk buat satu prediction about the population. Okay? So maksudnya di sini, daripada sample result, awak buat prediction about the whole population. So saya explain sikit lah sebab actually sample and population on the next slide, tapi tak apa. Population ini is satu grup besar. All element under study. Kesemua orang ataupun objek yang boleh ataupun yang memenuhi kriteria study awak. Contoh, saya nak study CGPA student UITM. So population saya will be kesemua student UITM. Population will be all student. Okay. Sample pula a portion, sebahagian daripada population, a portion of your population. So saya ambil contoh, student UITM ada 5,000 for example. 5,000 tu adalah semua student di UITM. Tapi saya nak buat survey, saya tak ada masa nak interview semua. So apa saya buat? Saya ambil 100 orang student saja. Daripada 100 orang student ni, saya deskriptif. Saya dapat min 3.3, median 3, mode 2.95 and etc. But menggunakan result yang saya dapat ini, saya buat satu keputusan. Saya buat satu conclusion, kesimpulan. Saya kata average CGPA untuk student UITM as a whole adalah 3.33. Kalau you tengok dekat sini, 3.33 ini saya kira min untuk 100 orang student. Tapi saya buat conclusion, average CGPA untuk student UITM as a whole, untuk semua 5,000 ni, saya buat conclusion mewakili semua orang ataupun semua student UITM. Saya kata UITM student ni CGPA dia average 3.33. Even though saya tak interview semua 5,000 orang, saya hanya interview 100 orang sahaja, tapi saya buat conclusion based on 100 orang tadi. Ini dinamakan inferential statistics. You make conclusion about the population based on your sample result. So, I hope that you dapat. In case you tak faham, you can text me or boleh tanya saya lagi dalam WhatsApp. So, these are a few basic statistical terms in statistics. We have population and sample. So, population consists of all elements whose characteristics are being studied, and sample pula is only a portion of the elements selected from the population. Hence, sample is a subset of the population. So, for example, I wanted to study CGPA students in KAG. Okay, so there are 5,000 students in KAG, for example. But I do not have time and manpower to interview or to ask every single person or every single student in KAG. So what I did, I only choose 100 of them and ask them, what is your CGPA? So this 5,000 student is my population, and this 100 student yang saya interview from my population is what we call as sample. So sample is a portion. Sampel awak mestilah sebahagian daripada your population. And sample should represent the population. Next one is sampling unit, sometimes called experimental unit or element, is a specific subject or object about which the information is collected. Just now, I wanted to study students UITM punya CGPA. So, I asked the student, what is your CGPA? Okay, the CGPA belongs to a specific student. So, the student is my sampling unit. If I wanted to study about monthly expenses, okay, for staff working in UITM, saya nak tanya, staff di UITM ini berapa dia punya expenditure dalam masa sebulan. So, I ask the staff in UITM. Staff will be my sampling unit. Sampling unit can be a person, or it may also be an item, an object, animal, and etc. Next one, we have sampling frame. Sampling frame is a list of all members in a population, and it is necessary when samples are selected randomly. So kalau tadi population itu students KAG, sampling frame should be senarai semua student di KAG. Okay, kalau you notice tadi, bila saya cerita pasal population, ada term all, kesemua. So when we talk about sampling frame pula, it should be a list of all members in the population. And then we have census and sample survey. Census ni, dalam bahasa Melayu dia kita panggil banci. Okay, where it is a survey that include every members in the population. So kalau you kata nak tengok CGPA student di KAG, ada 5,000 orang, setiap 5,000 orang tu awak tanya, awak dapat CGPA berapa, awak dapat CGPA berapa, semua 5,000 student, dan apa yang awak tengah buat tu nama dia census. But if daripada 5,000 student di UITM tu, awak hanya interview 100 orang je, awak tanya what is your CGPA untuk 100 orang daripada 5,000 orang. So this is what we call as sample survey. Sample survey, okay, is a survey that only involve a portion of the population. Sample survey adalah satu survey yang hanya melibatkan sebahagian orang sahaja ataupun sebahagian daripada population sahaja. Ada 1,000 orang, awak pilih 100 dari sample survey. Ada 1,000,000 orang, awak pilih 100,000, that is also sample survey. But bila you ada 100 orang, interview tetap 100 orang, that is what we call as census. Anything that you do involve everybody in the population, that is census. Kita ada pula pilot study, is a study done before the actual fieldwork. So you nak buat satu study, you ada a set of questionnaire yang you nak bagi respondent. Okay, you target nak bagi 1,000 orang respondent. But before you bagi kepada kesemua 1,000 tu, you test dulu your questionnaire kepada beberapa orang, mungkin 10 orang atau 20 orang. Untuk apa? Untuk test your questionnaire. Soalan ni ambil masa berapa minit? Responden faham tak soalan-soalan yang you tanya? Okay, so that is pilot study. Okay, a small study. Okay, pilot study is actually a small scale study. Okay, a small scale study done before the actual fieldwork is carried out. Lepas tu kita ada variable. Variable is a characteristic under study that assume different values for different element. Okay, characteristic under study. You nak study pasal student perceptions towards baby dumping. So, you nak study student perception towards baby dumping, that is your variable. Mungkin dalam tu ada banyak lagi lah pecahan-pecahan dia. Okay, atau tadi saya kata nak buat to determine the average CGPA for students in Alor Gajah. You nak study the average CGPA. So, the CGPA will be your variable. Kita ada data. Data is the value. Okay, measurement or observation that the variable can assume. Okay, CGPA variable, awak dapat 3.96. That is the data. Okay, ada yang 4 flat. That is the data. Kalau you ada banyak CGPA, then that is called a set of data. Lepas tu kita ada statistics. Okay, kita ada statistics and kita ada parameter. So statistics is a summary measure such as mean, median, mode, okay, that is computed from sample data. Maksudnya dekat sini, awak kira mean. Mean tu awak dapat daripada mana? Daripada sampel. That is statistics. But if you computed the value from the entire population, that is called parameter. Okay, for example, I have population, bilangan population saya 5,000 and I choose a sample of 100 student. If I calculated my mean from 100 student, dapat 3.75, dan mean yang saya dapat tu nama dia statistics. Saya cari median daripada 100 orang tu, sampel tu. That is called statistics. But if I calculated my mean from semua 5,000 student, saya calculate mean purata daripada 5,000 orang student, saya dapat 3.33. So mean yang saya dapat ini kita namakan sebagai parameter. Apa-apa value, summary measures, you kira daripada sampel, nama dia statistics. Tapi apa-apa summary measures yang you kira daripada the population, semua orang yang ada dalam tu, dan itu dinamakan sebagai parameter. Next one is source of data. Okay, data tadi, okay, you nak study pasal CGPA, you dapat ada yang 3.9, 3.0, 2.5. So, that is your data, dan daripada mana you dapat your data? The source of your data. So, there are two sources of data. The first one is primary data, where data are collected first-hand from primary sources in response to specific question and being collected by the researcher himself. I wanted to know the student CGPA. I asked the student, what is your CGPA? Saya record. Next one, what is your CGPA? Saya record. So, that one is primary data. I as a researcher nak cari apa-apa, pergi cari sendiri. Ataupun pergi cari sendiri ni bermaksud waktu saya nak buat tu baru saya cari the data. I can hire someone to collect the data for me lah. Okay, that is primary data. So, primary data ni ada a few advantages and disadvantages. So, since okay, the data is a first-hand data collected by the researcher himself, it will be more accurate and more consistent with the objective of the research. You as a researcher, you know what you want from the data. And then you know how the data are collected and the limitation. And there will be no reproduction error since the data are gathered for the first time. But the disadvantages will be it requires more time, more money and manpower because of the process involved. Okay, you need to collect the data yourself, or sometimes you need to hire someone to collect the data for you. So it will cost you more time, more money, more manpower, and etc. Data is what we call as secondary data. The data already been collected by someone else. Normally published data collected by other parties. So, I keep giving you an example where I want to study about the student CGPA and I ask the student, okay, I go to each student and I ask them, what is your CGPA? I record. Itu primary data. But, if saya pergi ke HEA and ask HEA to give me a list of CGPA untuk student di UiTM, that is not primary data. That is secondary data. Okay, data tu orang lain dah collect untuk saya. Orang lain dah ada dah. Data tu orang lain dah collect. But saya minta dia untuk saya pula pakai the data. So that is secondary data. The advantages will be require less time, less money and manpower. And data will help to decide what further research need to be done. But the disadvantages will be lack of accuracy. Data may not meet the specific needs and objective of the current research, and it may lead to reproduction error since the data are gathered for the second time. Okay, so there are two sources of data. Primary data adalah data first hand. Secondary data adalah data yang orang lain collect, you hanya pakai balik. Okay. So now kita tengok pula types of variable. So tadi awal-awal tadi saya ada bagi tahu variable ni adalah characteristic under study. Okay, you nak study pasal CGPA, so CGPA will be your variable. You nak study pasal monthly expenditure staff di UiTM. So monthly expenditure will be your variable. So this variable can be classified into two categories. Okay, we may have a quantitative variable and we also ada qualitative variable. So what is the difference between quantitative variable and qualitative variable? Quantitative variable is a variable that can be measured numerically. Numbers. CGPA, height, weight, expenditure, number of subjects, okay? Variable yang berbentuk numerik. Okay, that is quantitative variable. This quantitative variable can also be divided into two more categories. It can either be discrete quantitative or it may also be continuous quantitative. Discrete quantitative are values. Values are countable, which arises from a counting process. Okay, discrete quantitative ini adalah variable yang berbentuk whole number, nombor bulat. Okay, biasanya you dapat discrete quantitative variable apabila you kira, counting. For example, how many subject you took last semester? Berapa subjek you ambil last semester? 6 subjek. 5 subjek. Okay, discrete. Dia tak boleh jadi point form. Okay, I ask you, how many cars do your family own? Berapa bilangan kereta yang family awak ada? 2 kereta, 3 kereta. Tak boleh jadi 2,5 kereta. No, there is no such thing as that. But apabila variable awak itu boleh ambil bentuk point form, then it is called continuous quantitative. Values can assume any numerical value over a certain interval, which normally arises from a measuring process. You biasanya dapat continuous quantitative variable bila you ukur sesuatu. Contohnya height and weight. What is your height? 160 cm. Some of you mungkin 162.5 cm. 1.5 meters. So the value can be in point form. That is continuous quantitative. Okay, kita ada juga qualitative. So qualitative variable cannot assume numeric value, but can be classified into 2 or more non-numeric categories, also called categorical variable. Qualitative variable adalah variable yang berbentuk categorical data. Okay, what is your program? Business program, art and design. Okay, what is your gender? Male and female. Categorical data. What is your favorite color? That is categorical data. So always remember that when the question asks you what is the type of data, you need to classify the data. What is the type of variable? You need to classify the variable, okay, into either quantitative, discrete, discrete quantitative, continuous quantitative, atau qualitative. Okay, please state clearly if the question asks you what is the type of variable. Okay, selain daripada type of variable, kita ada scale or level of measurement. Type tadi ada discrete, quantitative, ada continuous quantitative, ada qualitative. Scale of measurement ni pula, okay, dia ada 4. Scale of measurement is important in determining which statistical method to use. There are 4 scale of measurements. So we have nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. Okay. The first 2 ni biasanya qualitative, categorical data. Untuk lagi 2 ni biasanya quantitative data. Tak kisahlah discrete or continuous. Okay, you ada 4 scale of measurement. From the lowest strength, nominal is the lowest one, followed by ordinal, interval, and the highest level of measurement adalah ratio scale. So kita tengok the first scale of measurement, which is nominal scale. So nominal scale ni, macam saya cakap tadi, normally dia adalah categorical data where it is not capable of being manipulated arithmetically. You tak boleh nak tambah, you tak boleh nak tolak. Contoh saya tanya you kelas A, B, C, D. Okay, dia dalam bentuk kategori, you tak boleh tambah, you tak boleh tolak. Okay, number assigned only to classify object. Kalau dia numbers pun, number ni hanya untuk classify object saja. Okay, kelas 1, kelas 2, kelas 3. Even though dia kelas 1, 2, 3 dalam bentuk numbers, tapi dia sebenarnya hanyalah label. Awak hanya classify saja. Walaupun menggunakan nombor, tapi nombor itu hanya untuk labeling. Saya tambah kelas 1 tambah kelas 2 jadi kelas 3. No, it's not like that. So, bila benda itu dia hanya labeling ataupun categorical data, okay, dia kualitatif, and ada tambah satu karakteristik dekat sini, no ordering or ranking is used. This categorical data, awak tak boleh nak rank dia. Maksud rank kat sini, awak tak boleh nak susun awak punya categorical data ni dalam tertib menaik atau menurun. Okay? Saya bagi gender, male and female. You tak boleh nak rank. Saya bagi colours. Okay, you tak boleh nak rank. So, kalau data itu kualitatif, you tak boleh nak rank. Dia adalah nominal scale measurement. Okay? So, apa example? Gender, program, types of house, ethnic groups, ID number, and etc. Okay, kenapa ID number pun dalam nominal? Even though dia number 2018-5533, kawan punya 2018-12345, tapi you tak boleh tambah. You tambah, you tak dapat apa-apa benda yang meaningful. So that is nominal, qualitative, and scale denominal. The next scale of measurement adalah ordinal scale. Ordinal scale ni sama macam nominal tadi. Dia adalah kualitatif, cuma bezanya it can be arranged in ascending or descending order. Okay? Contoh, grade A, B, C, D, E. Dia categorical data, tapi you boleh rank paling tinggi A, paling rendah F. Ataupun social class. Okay, T20, M40, B40, you boleh rank. Okay, job position from CEO, senior manager, manager, and etc. When the variable dalam bentuk qualitative variable, tapi you boleh rank dia in ascending or descending order, dia adalah ordinal scale. Next, we have interval scale measurement. So, interval scale of measurement adalah quantitative variable. Okay, biasanya variable yang berbentuk kuantitatif, tak kisah sama ada dia discrete or continuous. It can be any number that start from negative to positive number. And the key point here is this point. Interval scale do not have absolute or true 0 point. They do not have absolute zero. So what is the meaning of absolute zero? Zero does not represent the absolute lowest value. Or zero ni tidak bermaksud dia adalah satu bacaan yang paling rendah. Okay? Or complete absence of the property being measured. Maksudnya, zero dekat sini bukan bermaksud tiada. Okay? Dia tak ada true zero value. Zero tidak bermaksud benda ataupun things that you tengah measure itu tidak wujud. Okay? Contohnya temperature dalam bentuk Fahrenheit atau Celsius. So, temperature ni, okay, is an example of continuous quantitative variable. Kenapa continuous? Boleh jadi 36 degrees, boleh jadi 36.5 degrees. And temperature boleh jadi 0 degree Celsius. But adakah 0 degree Celsius itu bacaan yang paling rendah untuk temperature? Adakah 0 degree Celsius bermaksud tiada suhu? No. Okay, 0 bukan zero dia bukan absolute zero. So dia adalah interval scale. Contoh lain, CGPA 4 flat, okay? CGPA 3.6. CGPA 0.00. Adakah CGPA 0.00 itu bermaksud you tak ada CGPA? No. You ada CGPA, but CGPA awak 0. Okay? Last one adalah ratio scale. Ratio scale sama. Quantitative variable. Boleh jadi discrete quantitative, boleh jadi continuous quantitative. Ratio scale is the highest level of data measurement. Can start from 0 to infinity, and ratio scale have absolute 0 point. Bermaksud di sini, kalau variable ni measurement dia 0 bermaksud measurement yang dia tengah kira ataupun tengah measure tu tidak ada. Contohnya, saya tanya, what is your monthly expenditure? You may answer RM100 per month. You may answer RM100 per month. Apa maksud belanja RM0? You tak belanja. Okay? So, itu maksud true 0 point. Bila 0 bermaksud benda itu tidak ada, tidak wujud. That is ratio scale. Contoh, saya tanya awak, how many cars ataupun how many cars do your family own? 3 cars, 2 cars, 0 car. Kita tak cakap 0 car, kita cakap I do not have a car. So 0 means do not have, do not exist. Then dia adalah ratio scale. So that's all for part 1. I hope it helps. Okay. And if you still ada benda yang tak faham, boleh tanya saya directly. So thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.